The architecture of the house, it's light, it's airy, it's clean, it's very graceful. It's a physical representation of where we are in our lives today. Careers are over, kids are grown. What's most important to Susan and I is spending time together in a beautiful space that's very serene. And so this was canvas to create that.
In 1981, we purchased our starter home on this lot, and we called it our Once Upon a Time house because it was the start of our story. It's just a sweet little neighborhood in Houston, Texas, and I grew up here.
Learned how to ride my bicycle and tricycle.
My parents bought their home 6 houses around the corner in 1955. And my dad's parents, they live on the next street over.
Our original home was a series of rooms connected with narrow doors. And the windows were small and didn't let in much light. We tried to make the space feel like it flowed together, but with the structural limitations of an older home, we just couldn't get what we wanted. And what we wanted was lots of light. Now going to the next chapter of our lives, this is it. This is our last house. We wanted a very contemporary design because our tastes have changed and evolved in the 38 years we've been married.
We wanted high ceilings. We wanted one open living space. So we started off on the adventure of doing a last final remodel of our home. So I went to Houzz, and under Find a Pro, I compiled a list of about 5 different architects, and that's where I found Artie Architecture.
They read our profile, and they thought that we would be a great fit for their project because we had worked on a series of ranch home remodels. We knew that they would be great to work with when we showed up and there was a big plate of homemade cookies on the table.
It was just a perfect match.
They were excellent listeners. Their first words were, "We want to hear from you what your vision is for your new home."
Houzz was such an integral part of the whole house design. Charles and I would put together idea books, whether it was living area or bedroom, so that they could see what our style was. In pictures, what maybe I couldn't verbalize.
I think it helped unleash their creativity in looking at these images and saying, oh, I see what they mean.
A really important concept for Charles and Susan's house was to make sure it fit into the neighborhood. So we had to make sure that the roof line was lower so it would work with the adjacent ranch homes. But on the other hand, they really wanted to have the space open to the roof.
The demolition plan was going to leave 3 walls on a 60-plus-year-old slab.
It became evident early on that we were going to have to take it down, even demolish the slab.
We broke the news to our daughters that their childhood home was coming down.
In my mind, we weren't really tearing down the original home because the new home had been designed around the original house. The spaces were still there. We were just building new walls. So all the memories would still be intact. It would still feel like their house, the house that they raised their kids in. One of my favorite parts of this project is the surprise that when you walk in, the space is open to the roof. There is no attic in this main living area, so it's a high vaulted ceiling that gives you that wonderful open space. One of the tricks, around having this vaulted space that we have in here is that there's some coordination that we need to take into account. Air conditioning still has to run through the house. You still have insulation and light fixtures in that ceiling plane, which is also the roof. We also had a builder on board early on who helped us understand how to execute the special details that we wanted.
We found Philip Tryon of Tryon Homes through Artie Architecture. They said, Philip needs to build your home. And he was a perfect match for us also.
What was special is just their personal connection to the neighborhood, the community. We always say, for us, it's house versus home. There's lots of houses out there, but for us it's home. This was a very complex home to understand from a drawing point of view, and also make sure that it would function and perform the way that it needed to.
One of the things that we decided to do early on was to have a fully automated home, to make the house exactly the way we want it, from a lighting, from an audio standpoint. The lighting design is actually integrated into the automation system. And so when I walk out in the morning and I punch 2 buttons, and in 2 seconds, the shades come up, the lighting comes up to preset scenes, and the house is ready for a day. And at night, it's the reverse. I go to the back and I say, good night, and every light in the house, except the light in the master bedroom, turns off.
All of the lighting that you see in this home is all true native LED. These have individual drivers that go to each bulb, which produces a lot less electricity. The lighting is just a whole nother world. The blinds that you see that are integrated into the window systems, the baseboards that you see running through the home flush with the sheetrock. This was by far the most challenging project I've done to date. This is a special one.
The house is divided into 3 suites. I call the front area, the public area, the living suite. That's where we live all day and until we retire at the end of the evening. Then we have a guest suite that is closed off with a barn door, and there's 2 bedrooms and a guest bathroom. We have a master suite, and that closes off completely. In the master suite, we have our fitness room. That's technically the 4th bedroom. And then is the master bedroom, the master bathroom, and the closet. In the living room, we wanted it to be a space where it would be multifunctional. Hence, we have it wide open. Our office area is right as you walk in the door. Charles will tell you that it's the first time he's had a corner office. We love it because I can be in the kitchen baking and Charles can be at his computer, and we still have visual contact with one another.
One of the things that we focus on is the scale of different spaces. In this great room, we have a big yellow beam that crosses through the space. It's very monumental. Then off of that, we have hallways, we have a nook for the special family piano.
It's cozy, even though it's a large volume of space.
And then there's different elements that we use on the walls. There's this oversized fireplace, the big long linear element of the hearth, and then on the far wall we have this, wonderful artistic piece of granite.
The first thing that we actually purchased for the home was the backsplash on the counter behind the oven. And it's a piece of Italian granite. It's a big slab of granite. And it's an art piece. The oven is Charles's baby, so he picked his favorite color, which is real orange.
We challenged the architects to bring as much light as possible.
When I design, I think of the house as being a kind of sundial. So when I design, I'm kind of imagining how the sun is going to come through and throw patterns on the floor or throw shadows on the wall.
The east side of the house is really a sawtooth, so that every guest room and every bedroom lined up on that side of the house has a beautiful corner window. Not only did we have a clear story feature out front to flood the house with light, we have a second clear story feature in the back of the house that floods light through a series of clear story windows into the master bedroom.
What we decided to do was to put clear story windows over the TV and also windows down low under the TV. And the shadows and the light play that comes in the afternoon is just beautiful. Part of being an architect, a good residential architect, is learning how to be a mind reader. And fortunately with Houzz, we have such a leg up on that.
There were many pivotal moments from conception to the reality of living in this home, but perhaps none more important than finding Houzz as a resource. Without Houzz, this house would not exist. The walls and roof are different, but this is the space where we raised our children. It was like the house grew up from a child to an adult.
4 years, our starter home has become our new happily ever after home.